In this activity, you're going to learn some cool things that you can do with plants. So, the first thing you're going to need to do is to take a walk outside your house or your neighborhood or wherever you want and gather some cool flowers or leaves or twigs, things like that you can use for some art projects. Once you have collected all your flowers, you can begin. So, the first one we're going to do is make some dried flowers that you can use in making cards or bookmarks or any kind of project you want.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take your flowers and you're going to arrange them on a piece of paper. I'm using a paper bag, but you could also use a plastic bag. You could use wax paper or freezer paper or some tissue paper. And you're just going to arrange your flowers how you want them to sit when they're dry. So if you want kind of a sideways, you could do it like that. If you want them to be straight on, you could put them like this, but you got to make sure you remove the stems all the way if you're going to lay them like that. And so get them arranged nicely. And then you're going to fold it over, make sure everything stays in place. And you're just going to place this in the pages of a thick book, or you can stack it under some heavy objects, some paperweights, and you're going to wait until they're completely dried out.
After a couple days, they should be completely dry, and then you can make some greeting cards, bookmarks, or even laminate them to make any cool design you want. You can also use your plants to paint. So for this one, look at what you've collected and choose which ones you think would make great paint brushes. So I chose some grass, some branches, and some flowers that I thought would be nice. And all you need to do is dip them in some paint and rub them, blot them, or dot them on your paper. So if you want it to be thicker, you might need to bunch a few grasses together to make a thicker paintbrush and then coat it in a lot of paint so that it'll stick to your paper nicely. Otherwise, it shows up pretty thin, like you can see on mine. And it makes you some cool abstract art. You can also use some of the fluffier flowers or sticks to paint and draw lines and dots, which you'll see as well. In addition to using your sticks and leaves and plants to paint with, you can also use them as stamps. So for this, all you need to do is paint some leaves or flowers and then press them onto your paper. So there's many ways you can do this. You can paint it on really thick and then it will make the whole leaf shape, or you can paint it on really thin so then you print more of the veins. And you can add this on top of your paintings that you have already done, or you could stamp them on plain paper and make some cards. There are many ways you can do it.
You can also just paint your leaves really lightly if you want to have more of the veins showing up, and then you'll get an effect more like this. But then for those ones, you need to make sure you press down really hard so that you can get all of the veins on your paper. The other thing you can do is place your leaves on your paper and then paint over them like this, so then you'll have a blank spot where the leaves are. Then you can just peel them off. And you have something like this.
And then you have some beautiful finished artwork and cards that you can send out. For this next one, I'll teach you how to weave flowers together to make crowns or bracelets or necklaces and things like that. So for this one, you will have needed to collect a bunch of flowers with pretty long stems. You're going to start with two flowers and first lay one up and down and then lay the second one across like a T, like in this picture. Then you're going to take the up and down one and wrap the stem up and over and in between the two flowers like this. Then you're going to take the stem and bend it behind itself, or the second flower, like this, and then you're going to pull it tight so that the loop is tight up against the first flower. Lay the stems together and then put a third flower underneath the two stems like you did before. Take the stem of the third flower and bring it up over both of the other stems and loop it behind the third flower and pull it tight against the other two stems like you did the first time. Keep repeating this process until you have a chain long enough to form a crown, necklace, bracelet, or whatever you're trying to make. Then you can take the ends and wrap them around the first flower of the chain. And then you can even tuck the ends into one of the other loops to keep them nice and tight. And then you have a beautiful little crown or necklace that you can wear around.
For this one, you're going to need a plastic bag, a napkin or cotton ball or something like absorbent like that, and some seeds, and some fast-growing seeds that you can find right in your house. You could take seeds from a bell pepper that you've eaten or some beans, they grow fast as well, or really any kind of seed. All you're going to do is get your paper towel or cotton ball damp and put it in your plastic bag, and then put your seeds in there, and then you can check it every day to record the progress.
These are just a few activities you can do with plants, and I hope you enjoy doing them.